Happy Thursday, everybody. We're gonna get started right now. So, how you doing? My name is Todd Terrazas, and I'm the founder and executive director of the AILA community, a nonprofit based here in Los Angeles, focusing on artificial intelligence and frontier tech. Traditionally, we would be hosting multiple events per month, but obviously, given the circumstances, we are now going virtual. And given the times, we thought that everyone's talking about this new normal, and so why not create a new show called The New Normal, where we can bring in experts within our network to give their perspective on what this new normal can be given a specific topic. And so we are very lucky to have Ann Carpenter, the CEO and co-founder of Braid, here to join us and talk about tech startups in this new normal. And so let's give it up for Ann Carpenter.
Hello, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right away. And let's just get right on it. Okay, we all good? All right. So good afternoon, everybody. So as Todd mentioned, I'm Ann Carpenter, CEO of Braid. And when Todd came to me and said, what do you want to talk about on the new normal? I said, well, let's just talk about startups. We're out there every day doing our own customers discovery, not only what our entrepreneurs are telling us, but what our industry partners. And I am coming from a point that we speak of entrepreneurs as being disruptors, right? And so the whole idea, the industry of entrepreneurship is based on this premise. So now that the whole world's been disrupted, what does this mean for the future of startups? Okay. So I'll set up with a hypothesis. There's never been a better time to be a startup. And through this talk today, I just want to build my case based on that. And then hopefully that'll be setting up the point for the debate. So interesting thing about this picture, it's from a National Geographic article entitled, How to Regrow a Forest, Get Out of the Way. So maybe we're, as the startup community, the ones that are going to be regrowing the forest. So a little bit about Braid and who we are in case you don't know. We're a vertically integrated venture advisory firm. We offer space, which is kind of on lockdown right now. We have events, which we have done, are now going virtually. We have specific programming and activities that are all meant towards helping entrepreneurs get to market. We work with specifically engineering and science-focused entrepreneurs, build them, support them as they're on their path to market through rigorous programming and support. And a lot of what my role is really helping to connect them to the market, a lot more on the business development, finding corporate partners, finding pilot projects. And so a lot of my point of view is that external view. So along those lines, about 6 months ago, I was given the opportunity to be the keynote speaker at a group called Clean Cargo. And my speech was about transformative change. And I was speaking to a group of sustainability managers for some of the largest shipping companies in the world and the largest global brands, and really trying to give them some insight from an entrepreneur perspective. So there's a little bit from that to help set the stage. So first of all, on that caterpillar thing, people think about this beautiful transition of a caterpillar to a butterfly. But if you cut that chrysalis open in the middle, that's a gooey mess. And we all know that transformation is really messy. And certainly, as we're seeing right now, we're in the middle of that mess. And furthermore, not only is it sort of a random mess, but as entrepreneurs are trying to create a new order of things or trying to disrupt, there are a lot of very active forces basically countering that to keep us from doing it, right? Machiavelli 500 years ago said there's nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success than to take the lead in the introduction of the new order of things. But he goes on to say that it's the enemies who want to keep the old guard. And it's also that the defenders, even though those who believe in what you're doing, are kind of lukewarm. They're waiting to see if you're going to fall on your face. But startups, how do we see ourselves, right? We're superwoman ready to leap tall buildings in a single bound, but we're also a little bit, as Douglas Adams said in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, there's an art, or rather a knack to flying. The knack lies in learning how to throw yourself at the ground and not miss. So, and startups, how do they see corporate? Well, a little bit like they are the airplanes out to topple King Kong. On the other side, how are corporates seeing startups? Well, a little bit like we're tilting at windmills. This was a quote from an editor of the Journal of Commerce about all the startups in the logistics and freight sector. And he said, for the most part, I'm unimpressed. There's all these startups trying to get their niche, and it's a waste of time. They're Don Quixote. But then he continues on and says, but it would go too far to suggest all this is in vain. A lot of that is because no matter what, even if entrepreneurs are failing or if they're not hitting the target, they're still disrupting the sector. So what does that all mean to how our businesses are faring? Well, all of that chaos that we're creating as entrepreneurs has actually changed the nature of the S&P 500 so that now half of the companies that are currently on the S&P are going to be replaced in 10 years. And corporate executives know that they need to transform, know that they need to change. And this was from a year ago or a couple of years ago, this survey, and executives would say, yes, they need to transform, they need to change, they need to disrupt the sector. But then when you ask them, well, how are they going to do that? What does that look like? They still think that they're just coming up against their existing competitors. So what does all that mean in terms of what's going on right now? Well, chaos is served to us right now on a silver platter, right? Entrepreneurs, we're not creating the chaos. We're not trying to disrupt it. It's being disrupted. So we don't really have a choice. It's there. It's ready for us. But one of the things that I'm really seeing in the industry as I go out and talk to people is how willing people are to sharing their problem list. I mean, you can look on any social media avenue that you want, from LinkedIn to whatever, and people are crying out of what they need, to the daily news, right? So anybody who's paying attention about their startup right now, listen, ask questions, because people are, I had a conversation the other day with a head of innovation for one of the largest utility agencies in the country. And he spent 30 minutes talking to me about what problems he's facing. And not only what problems, but very specific. He's giving me costs and what they're trying to get down, what their problems are with employees, what the regulations, what the changes are. And he just went on and on and on. That doesn't happen regularly. We need to be able to take advantage of that. The other thing is theoretically, we're all agile, right? That's what we talk about. That's what we say. It's not waterfall development, it's agile development. We can pivot. Well, this is exactly the time where everybody is trying to learn those skills. And then last but not least, whether you're a bricks and mortar small business or a large corporation, everyone is facing now really horrendous issues about how to pay the bills and keep the lights on. Most startups I know are living on beans and rice or ramen. We're pretty lean. We've always been very lean. That's certainly the style of Braid theory. And that that sort of lifestyle that we probably are already having is going to fare us well as we move forward. So what do we do about it? So when we think about how and why startups start businesses, one is, it's the Airbnb story, solve my own problem. So you have a startup, you're there now, what problems are you facing? What are you seeing your customers facing? Look at, just take that same deeper dive and look at if your solution is being disrupted because, I don't know, you're a wearable IoT company whose market was in festivals. Well, maybe that same wearable IT can be used to help safe distancing in an industrial environment. Startup reason number 2, a solution in search of a problem. Whether it's AI or blockchain or IoT or whatever buzzword you want to use, we say, we've got some core technologies that we may have been focused in one industry sector, one problem that may, again, not have the same kind of urgency of other opportunities right now. So take that solution and search for a new problem. So back to the caterpillar's perspective. The one thing, if we are the caterpillar transforming into a butterfly, we don't know that we're going to be a butterfly. It's complete unknown. And as entrepreneurs, that's how we roll. That skill is, to me, the core reason why in this current time of COVID-19, when the future is so unknown, we are better prepared than most. So with that, I would like to set up this slide, debate the hypothesis. There's never been a better time to be a startup. And I'm really interested in hearing from those in the audience why you think this may or may not be true, and what are you seeing in the marketplace that helps give you evidence about that. Thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, so now we're going to go into breakout rooms for 20 minutes, and then we'll get right back into the main section for any Q&A with Anne.
Hi, everyone.
We're back.
We're back. All right, so Todd, what's up now? Anybody have any last want to share from the group? And our group, Stephen's parting words were, gotta keep swimming. And I'm not hearing you.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
I'm here. Yeah, so if anyone has questions, they can ask them now. But I know that you have to get off kind of soonish for your own show.
8 minutes before our own show. So our continuing quarantine series is starting at 1 o'clock, also on a Zoom. So if you want to hear 3 great startups talk about how they're living in the time of pandemic, join us on the quarantine series.eventbrite.com, and you can get to the sign up to the Zoom link through that. Any questions? No. Oh, and also from Jim, he's saying we also have Startup on the Rocks happy hour. So go to our Facebook page, Jim, type in there the link, please.